Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the 97th Academy Award Oscars nominations. Now, before I go any further sharing my thoughts on these Oscar nods, I would like to give a special shout out to Brian for requesting this video. And if there's another topic, film, or TV show that you would like to see me discuss in the future, feel free to donate to either my PayPal or to my Patreon. Link to both is in the video description down below, and I will try to get your request as soon as I possibly can. Now, a lot of these films I actually haven't seen yet, so I'm not necessarily the best person to be determining whether or not they're worthy of being nominated, but I'm going to do my best to share my thoughts on these Oscar nominations. I at least know a little bit about these movies, and I've seen the trailers for a decent amount of them, so I can I can talk about them, but definitely not as in depth as other people who are discussing these nominations. So we'll start with Best Picture. So you have Honora, which it seems like that's a movie that's almost like in the same universe as Euphoria, with this. I think I think she's supposed to be pretty relatively underage. Well, no, she's 23. So thankfully, it's not going that route. It's not going cuties. Uh, when it comes to its approach to everything. She's 23, but it kind of has the same sort of approach as Euphoria in terms of the plot and the sexualization of the lead. Mikey Madison is in it. She was in Scream 5, and I saw the trailer for it. It didn't really look like it was something for me, but all right. The Brutalist is another one that's nominated. It's got Adrian Brody in it. To me personally, that looked really boring, but it looks like the type of film that the Oscars would be impressed with. Complete Unknown. It's the biopic about Bob Dylan, with Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. I mean, the trailer for it just looked kind of okay, as you know, biopics go. But yeah, I guess. I mean, I could see that being an acceptable nomination. Conclave. Remember seeing the trailer for that. It's another film about the corruption of the Catholic Church. I mean, it seems like it's more getting a nod for its cast and for the subject matter and not really a whole lot else. Dune Part 2. I actually really like that movie, but I don't think it stands a chance in hell of winning Best Picture. But it's a film that I feel is still worthy of being nominated, unlike Emilia Perez, which, yes, to be fair, I haven't seen the film yet, but I've seen clips and I've seen the trailer and I've seen the synopsis and I've seen other people's reviews of it. It does not at all seem like a film that deserves to be nominated for Best Picture, let alone a film that deserves to be nominated as many times as it has been. But it's not a nomination that necessarily surprises me because of the fact that the Oscars and the Academy, they're definitely trying to be more PC lately, trying to show more representation when it comes to Oscar nods. This is definitely something up their alley. But what's funny is that this movie is getting a lot of backlash from Mexicans and from Hispanics and from other people that are represented in the film. So they're nominating this movie and kind of hyping it up and giving all these nods because they're trying to say, hey, we got you. But a lot of the same people are like, we don't we don't really like this movie, and we don't think it represents us properly. So, because of the backlash that the film is getting, I'm pretty sure it's not going to win Best Picture. And honestly, I'd be surprised if it won that many awards because of the fact that it has such a significant backlash right now. So, it would be bad PR for the Oscars to award this film with as many awards as possible instead of the opposite. If the PR was good, then they would probably roll with it and this movie would have won like a ton of Oscars. But I just don't see it happening. And I will be shocked if it does, to be honest. Because the Oscars is a lot about trying to save face lately, and they're very heavily about PR. And so if there is any semblance of some potential bad PR brewing, they're not wanting that to be in the forefront. The other film that's nominated is I'm Still Here, and there's a few others. There's Nickel Boys, um, and The Substance, which I'm really shocked that that got a Best Picture nomination. And it's another film that I really need to see. There's a lot of films from 2024 I still haven't seen yet, and I want to, but I've just been busy with work and other stuff lately, just haven't had the time. But The Substance is like number one on the list for me, along with other films like Long Legs and Strange Darling and Maxine. Um, but I have all these requests and all this other stuff that I'm doing first, so that takes priority. So I just haven't really taken the time to watch a lot of those. But if you're okay with sending me requests to watch those movies or at least some of those films, feel free to do so. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, The Substance, that's awesome that got nominated. It doesn't stand a chance in hell of winning though. Just like Dune Part 2, it's not going to win. There's no way that a horror film is going to win Best Picture. And the other film that's nominated is Wicked. And I know that's a massively popular film, but that's really the main reason why it got a nod. It's similar to when Black Panther got a nomination for Best Picture. It's not winning. It's not going to win Best Picture. Um, it's probably going to go to like The Brutalist or maybe Conclave or Nora. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Those kind of seem like the type of movies that the Oscars are more willing to give Best Picture to. I mean, Emilia Perez, I think because of the bad PR, doesn't really have a good chance, but it has a better chance than The Substance and Wicked. For Best Director, you have Sean Baker, who directed Anora, Brady Corbet, or Corbett, who directed The Brutalist, James Mangold, who did A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard, who did Emilia Perez, and Corley Farja. I probably fucked up saying her name, but she's the director of The Substance. And I would love to see Corley get that Oscar. And I think she has a pretty good chance of getting it, even though it is a horror film. It's a movie that got a lot of critical acclaim, even won a fair amount of Golden Globes. So I think she has a chance, but it's probably between her and like Brady, um, with Jacques Audiard kind of being in the mix as well because he's a well renowned filmmaker that the Oscars is definitely wanting to give some recognition, and this would be a pretty big win for him. But I don't really feel that due to the PR, he's probably going to win it. And I don't think James Mangold is going to get it for A Complete Unknown. Um, Sean Baker, I don't know about. I mean, from what I've seen in the trailer and the clips of Anora, it definitely looks like a nice looking film. But Out of all of the nominations that The Substance has gotten, other than makeup effects, I definitely do feel that director is one that I personally feel it has a pretty good shot at getting, as well as Best Actress for Demi Moore. So speaking of Best Actress, I will get to that soon, but we'll go with Best Actor now. Best Actor, you have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Sebastian Stan is not going to win for his performance as Donald Trump. That's just not going to happen. Ray Fiennes is a possibility. I think it's honestly between Ray and Adrian Brody. Although Timothy Chalamet is a dark horse for his portrayal as Bob Dylan. Um, Best Actress, you have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez. I honestly don't feel she deserved that nomination. I really don't. I think a lot of that is just for representation since she's trans, because her performance as Manitas, from what I've seen in terms of clips, was pretty awful. Because she plays both roles. She plays the ruthless drug lord when he's a male, and then when he's transitioned into a female as Amelia. I don't think that's a Best Actress worthy performance by any means. Mikey Madison, from what I've seen in clips, seems like a pretty decent performance as Nora. Demi Moore, though, I think this is, if she has any potential chance to win Best Actress after all this time, this is it. And I think it would be well deserved. And I know I still haven't seen The Substance, but I've seen enough clips, I've seen enough footage, I've seen enough from her and what she did in that film to see how impressive it is. So it definitely is something that I think would be well deserving for her, and it would be a great story. And I'm hoping that she wins. Fernanda Torres is the other nominee for I'm Still Here. But really, I think it's probably between Demi and I mean, Cynthia Erivo was really good in Wicked, from what I've been hearing, and it's been getting a lot of buzz. But I think it might be between her and Mikey. But I know that the Oscars might be trying to push Carla Sofia Gascon, and to be honest, even though I feel it would just be nothing but a PR move, I could see them giving that award to her. Even though I don't think she deserved to be nominated, let alone win or come close to winning, but I sadly I can see a world where she wins Best Actress over Demi Moore. Now, Best Supporting Actor, you have Yura Borisov for Anora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Definitely seems like a three-way sort of battle between Kieran Culkin, Edward Norton, and Guy Pearce, from what I've seen in terms of clips. Best Supporting Actress, you've got Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. And I think it's another one of those things. I think, honestly, Felicity Jones, Isabella Rossellini, Monica Barbaro, seems like those are like the three front runners. Ariana Grande is a dark horse, but I don't think she's going to win. Same thing goes for Zoe Saldana. And then you have Best Original Screenplay, Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance. This is another award that I think should just automatically go to The Substance. From what I've seen, what I've read about the plots of these other movies, The Substance is 100% the most original script. So there, in my opinion, is no reason whatsoever for it to lose to any of those contenders or any of those nominees. Like, if there's one award other than Best Makeup and Best Director that I think The Substance should win hands down, it would be Best Script. The Best Adapted Screenplay Oscar, you have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing as the nominees. From what I've seen, Conclave seems like a pretty good one. I think that's definitely one that I think stands a chance, and would be a good pick to win that. Um, Best Animated Feature, you have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit: Inventions Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. I think The Wild Robot, to me, should win that. Flow, I know it won for the Golden Globe, but I think The Wild Robot should win the Oscar. But we shall see. But I think it would probably be between those two when it comes to who's going to win that one. Best International Feature Film, Emilia Perez, Flow, The Girl with the Needle, I'm Still Here, The Seed of the Sacred Fig. Why not give the award to Flow? And then, maybe The Girl with the Needle. I could see Emilia Perez getting that, though, although I don't think it deserves it. But maybe that could be the one where they could be like, "Oh, we'll give it that award instead of Best Picture to show how diverse we are." Uh, the next category is Best Documentary Feature Film: Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, soundtrack to Coup d'Etat. Out of all the ones here that I did some research on, I think Black Box Diaries sounds like a good one. Especially considering the subject matter of that particular documentary, but Sugarcane also seems like a potential winner. But I don't know. I haven't seen any of these documentaries, but I did watch the trailers for them, and the Black Box Diaries seems like one that, to me, because of the subject matter about sexual assault and it also being a Japanese film, you can kind of check off two boxes there. Best Documentary Short Film, Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. I didn't really check out any of these, so I guess we'll just have to see which one might win that. I think I saw some clips of one that's on Netflix. But I would probably say Death by Numbers is one from what I'm looking at, or I Am Ready, Warden, just by the subject matter that to me probably stands a pretty good shot of winning that award. Best Original Score, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. From what I've heard in terms of the music, I would probably say it would be between Wicked and The Wild Robot. And I'm probably thinking Wicked is probably going to win. Best Original Song, El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, Never Too Late from the Elton John movie. I'm kind of surprised that there isn't anything from Wicked in there, but I guess it's probably because it's not original, because it's based on a play. I mean, give it to Elton John. I mean, it's Elton John. I mean, give him another Oscar. All the other stuff that I've heard here, maybe Like a Bird, but everything else, like, I just don't really see as worthy of it. None of the Emilia Perez songs to me are worthy of being given Oscars for Best Original Song. Best sound, Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. To me, Dune Part 2 or The Wild Robot. And again, Emilia Perez, why is that being nominated for Best Sound? There's nothing about that that's worthy of Best Sound. Best Production Design, The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, Wicked. To me, it's between Nosferatu and Wicked. And maybe Dune Part 2. Anything that's like a sci-fi or a fantasy or horror film, that is something that should win Best Production Design. Not The Brutalist, not Conclave, which are like based in reality type movies. So I think it's definitely between Wicked and Nosferatu and Dune Part 2. I'm probably leaning towards Nosferatu, to be honest, from what I've seen. Best cinematography, The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez. Doesn't even look that great either. Why did this get that nomination as well? I really don't understand. Maria, Nosferatu. Nosferatu and Dune Part 2. To me, those are the two that I think should duke it out for that award. Best makeup and hairstyling, A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Since it's a best makeup award, and this is what the makeup effects award has become, The Substance should win this hands down. And it should win it not only just for like the practical makeup effects, but also for just the regular makeup and hairstyling as well. So it should be a twofer. Like there is no reason in my mind that that should lose. And if it loses, it would be a bunch of fucking bullshit. Should not lose a Nosferatu with a vampire with a mustache. It shouldn't lose to Wicked because I'm sorry, nothing about that makeup wise is any bit or anywhere close to as ambitious and as incredible as what Pierre Oliver Person, Stephanie Goulian, and Mary Lynn Scarcelli did with The Substance. Now you have Best Costume Design, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. From what I've seen, Nosferatu and Wicked, it's another instance where those two should get in a battle for who wins. Maybe Gladiator 2 can throw its hat in the ring. Best Film Editing, Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez isn't even that well edited from what I've seen, too. I don't get it. Conclave, Anora, Wicked, maybe The Brutalist, but The Brutalist is like 3 hours, so I don't really think that should win Best Editing, when it's a movie that's like in dire need of an edit. And then you have Best Visual Effects, which is the last award here that features all the nominees. So you have Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Out of all of these, from what I've seen, honestly, I feel Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes should win that. Maybe Dune Part 2, but definitely not Alien Romulus. That has some scenes in it that I like, but like just for the shitty looking Ash robot alone, that should not win Best Visual Effects. I guess some people might say Wicked, but I don't really think that deserves the Oscar for Best Visual Effects. To me, it's between Dune Part 2 and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Better Man, from what I've seen, it's got some good visual effects for the ape version of Robbie Williams, but I mean, if you want that plus other apes, just go with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So that's my thoughts on the Oscar nominations for the upcoming Oscars that are going to be happening in March of this year. And I don't know if I'll do a video about the winners. Maybe if somebody requests that at some point. But I will try to do a best and worst of last year sometime in March. Or maybe in late April before the Oscars. Because I really want to do that this time. I wanted to do that the year before last, and I just wasn't able to get it done. I want to actually do that again. I want to start doing that again, making best and worst videos when it comes to my personal best films of a year or my personal worst. And I think honestly, it's probably something that you probably would like to see as well. So, um, yeah. So that's just my thoughts on the Oscar nods. And until next time, I'll see you later. See ya.